Atlanta, Georgia. For almost 2 years, police searched for a killer who left behind no clear identity. No witnesses, no obvious motive, no connection between victims, just people disappearing, one after another. Every 80 days, another person vanished. 6 victims, 480 days of fear. The media called it the 80-day disappearance case. But the most terrifying part was not that the killer was unknown. It was that the person helping police find him was the person they were looking for. His name was Dr. Ethan Caldwell, a respected forensic analyst, a loving husband, a father of 2 children, a man who spent his career studying criminals, while secretly becoming one. To everyone who knew Ethan Caldwell, he was the definition of normal. He lived in a quiet neighborhood outside Atlanta with his wife Claire and their 2 children. His neighbor described him as polite. His co-workers described him as brilliant. His family described him as loyal. Ethan was not the type of person people feared. He was the person people trusted. But inside Ethan's mind, something had been developing for years. When Ethan was a teenager, he became obsessed with famous serial killers. While other students were interested in sports and entertainment, Ethan studied criminal psychology. He wanted to understand one question: what turns an ordinary person into a monster? But Ethan's curiosity became something darker. At school, he was bullied constantly. He was humiliated, ignored, made to feel invisible, and slowly he developed a dangerous belief. A belief that some people mattered and others did not. Ethan never forgot how powerless he felt, but instead of seeking help, he buried those feelings. With that feelings, he became smarter, more controlled, more patient, and eventually he found the perfect career: forensics. Ethan dedicated himself to forensic science. He studied evidence, crime scenes, investigations, human behavior, and eventually he joined the Atlanta Police Department's Forensic Sciences Division. This gave him something no ordinary criminal could ever have: knowledge. He understood how investigators thought. He knew what detectives searched for. He knew why criminals were caught, and he learned how mistakes were made. At work, Ethan became one of the department's most valuable experts. His older brother, Lieutenant Michael Caldwell, was one of Atlanta's most respected detectives. Michael was everything Ethan wasn't: confident, respected, a natural leader. The 2 brothers were close. Michael believed Ethan had built a successful life. He had no idea his brother was hiding a secret. Despite the darkness inside him, Ethan lived an ordinary life. He dated Claire, his first serious relationship. Unlike many people around him, Ethan never chased attention. He never cheated. He never lived recklessly. After years together, they married. They built a family, and to everyone around them, Ethan was the perfect husband, the perfect father, the perfect brother. That was what made him dangerous, because Ethan understood something. The best place to hide was in plain sight. The first disappearance looked like a normal missing person case. A divorced man vanished. No witnesses, no obvious enemies, no explanation. Then, exactly 80 days later, another person disappeared. Then another. After the sixth victim, Atlanta knew this was not random. Case was handed to Lieutenant Michael Caldwell. The city needed answers. Michael studied every victim, their jobs, their families, their histories, and slowly he discovered a pattern. Every victim was living alone, divorced, widowed, disconnected. People who, in Eden's twisted mind, were forgotten by society. But Michael noticed something else. Every victim had something in common, a connection to police records. Not serious crimes, small incidents, old complaints, minor reports. Nothing that made them dangerous, but enough to put their names inside the system. Michael asked, "Why are all these people appearing in our database?" And then he realized the killer wasn't randomly choosing victims. Someone was selecting them, someone with access. Michael began investigating everyone inside the department: detectives, officers, employees, anyone who had access to police records. For a moment, Ethan's name appeared on the list. Michael stopped. His own brother? He removed him immediately. Not because of evidence, because he couldn't accept it. No, not Ethan. I know my brother. But a detective's job is not to follow feelings, it's to follow facts. And the facts were becoming harder to ignore. One evening, during a family dinner, Michael opened up to Ethan. He trusted him. He told him about the case, the victims, the police records, the theory that someone inside the department was involved. Michael said, "The person we are looking for understands how we investigate." Ethan stayed calm. He asked questions. He acted concerned. But inside, he understood Michael was close. Too close. For the first time in years, Ethan felt fear. After that conversation, something changed. The 80-day pattern disappeared. The original type of victims disappeared. Ethan stopped using police records because he knew every search could expose him. Then Atlanta experienced something new. A married couple disappeared. The detectives were confused. This was different. 30 days later, another couple became victims. The killer had changed. Michael looked at the investigation board, the old pattern, the new pattern, and he said, "Someone forced him to change." The question was, who? During the investigation, another detective appeared suspicious. Detective Ryan Brooks. His name appeared connected to several victim files. Michael ordered surveillance. For nearly 3 months, Brooks was watched every moment. every conversation, every detail, but nothing happened. No evidence, no connection, no crime. Finally, Michael admitted Brooks was innocent. But that raised another question. Why did the killer want investigators looking at Brooks? The answer was simple. The killer was not just committing crimes, he was controlling the investigation too. Michael had one remaining question. Why did the killer change only after he spoke to Ethan? So he created one final test. During another family dinner, Michael told Ethan, "We found the connection." Ethan looked up. Michael continued, "The victims were connected through church records." It was a lie, a completely false theory that Michael invented. Only Ethan heard it. Michael waited. Days passed, then weeks, and once again, the killer changed. The next victims had no connection to church records. Michael finally understood. He wasn't looking at a criminal who guessed police moves. He was looking at someone who reacted to information only one person had: his own brother. Michael knew suspicion was not enough. He needed proof. So he stopped chasing old crimes. He stopped looking for killers' past. Instead, he waited for killers' future. But Michael knew one thing. Ethan could change his method. He could change his victims, but he could not change who he was. Eventually, Ethan's obsession won. He prepared for another crime. But this time, Michael was ready. The investigation team followed Ethan, not because they knew exactly what he would do, because they knew he would eventually do something. For the first time, Ethan wasn't hunting, he was being hunted. And the man who had spent years studying criminals finally made the mistake every criminal makes. He believed he was smarter than everyone else. Inside the interrogation room, Ethan Caldwell sat across from the one person who knew him better than anyone: his own brother. Michael placed the evidence on the table: the investigation, the patterns, the lies, the timeline. Ethan remained calm. Michael asked, "Why?" Ethan looked down, then smiled. Michael asked, "How did you do it, Ethan? How did you make 6 people disappear without leaving anything behind and every other victims?" Ethan said, "You always looked for a criminal, Michael. Someone angry, someone careless, someone who made mistakes, but you never looked at the person sitting next to you." Michael said, "Where are they, Ethan?" Ethan replied, "I spent years studying every mistake criminals made. I learned how investigators think. I learned what people overlook. Every case, every file, every report. I knew exactly what you would search for." Michael said, "You killed innocent people." Ethan replied, "No. I convinced myself they were already forgotten. That was the lie I told myself." Michael said, "And now? Do you still believe that?" Ethan, silent for a moment, and replied, "No. Now I know I was just trying to justify what I wanted to do." And he continued, "You know what's strange, Michael? Everyone studied monsters after they are caught. Nobody studied how they hide." Michael stared at him and said, "You are my brother." Ethan replied, "That was the reason nobody saw me." A long silence filled in the room. Michael asked, "Did you ever feel guilty?" Ethan looked at him and said, "The only thing I regret is underestimating you." Dr. Ethan Caldwell was sentenced for the crimes that shocked Atlanta. The man who helped solve crimes was revealed to be the person behind them, a forensic expert, a husband, a father, a brother, a man who spent his entire life studying monsters until he became one. And the most disturbing truth was not that Ethan Caldwell was hiding, it was that everyone trusted him because he had spent years proving he was exactly who they wanted him to be: the perfect man, the perfect lie, the forensic killer of Atlanta. The case of Ethan Caldwell may have been fictional, but the questions it raises are very real. How well do we truly know the people around us? Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more stories where mystery, psychology, and investigation come together. We'll meet again in the next case.